Hi everyone, welcome to episode 4. So I'm going to bring you into a bit of an unusual one here. So I've done a couple of transfer dealings and I haven't shared them as yet, but I'm going to bring you into this deal because I've been offered a deal from Spurs for Aubameyang. His current value is 51.5, he's 88 rated and he's 30. The transfer sum is 56.4 they're offering, but I'm not having that. So I'm going to try and sell him for silly money and I'm hoping Jose takes it, bites the bullet, and he's desperate, and he'll have it. So let's see what happens here. So 61, still not too bad for a 30-year-old, but I want a bit more of that. So let's compromise. I'm gonna go down to 80 and see what happens. Let's see how desperate Spurs are. So what's he gonna come back with? 64.7, going a bit higher, but I still want a bit more than that. I want at least 70 mil. So I'm gonna try and do a bit of a deal here. Right, he's probably going to tell me to go away now, but let's just see what happens. They've taken it. Oh my days. They have taken my offer of 75 million. Wow. Okay, so I'm going to give you a bit of a roundup on what's going on and what's been happening since the last episode. So, Chambers, I've had 2 offers in for Chambers. So 12.5 from Leverkusen and 13 from Porto. So that's currently ongoing. Holding Ajax have come in at 15 mil. He's worth 9 million. And Getafe, or Getafe, how you want to pronounce it, 16.5. So they're both ongoing as well. Controversial, but here goes another one. So once again, he's 28, 85. I want younger players. I want players that are going to grow. I want, silly pace, counter-attacking football. And these guys are fast, Aubameyang and Lacazette, but I just want the younger ones that's going to grow. So Red Bull Leipzig came in at 65 million. Well, actually no, sorry. Rewind. I asked for 65 million. They turned around and said, nah, not happening. So I thought, you know what, I might not sell him. If I get an offer, I'm going to try and squeeze as much as I can. I know it's a bit unrealistic asking 65 million considering he's worth 36, but along came Valencia and offered, I think it was 46.3 or 5. Actually, it's 0.3 because I asked for 52.3 in the end, and they accepted. So yeah, so that's happening. That's happening now. So the team is completely getting rebuilt. Ozil's my #1 priority to get rid of. I might even send back Ceballos to Madrid because he's on loan, and I'd rather have a player that's going to be playing week in week out that I own that's going to grow. So considering that as well, but that's a lot of money coming in. So that's what 52 mil and another 75 there. What's that? 127 million just on those two. So I'm going to go in hard. I'm going to look into buy Vinicius, Richarlison up front, and then 2 other strikers. Probably someone like Tammy Abraham, and I don't know. I'm not even going crazy and getting like Timo Werner or someone, but I want to be smart with the money. I want to make sure I get in players that are going to grow. So I've made a couple of purchases as well. So let me just share that with you, and a couple of sales as well prior to these ones, which I haven't shared as I have done in the previous videos. I just thought I'd switch it up a little bit, but the Aubameyang deal was kind of like too much, and I thought, you know what, I need to share that with you guys. So hopefully you like that, and not a bad price for a 30-year-old. So let me just share what I've done since the last episode. So we have Mr. Phil Foden, 14.7 million. He's going to sit in Ozil's position. 19 years of age, 77 rated, and good potential. So he is someone I've been recommended in the comments. So happy with that. But I think I might go, because I've scouted quite a lot of players, so I'm going to share that with you in just a moment. But for that central attacking midfielder position, Madison looks pretty appealing. So I'm just going to share some findings with you in a moment. Now this guy, not many people have heard of him. I certainly haven't heard of him until recently. Just been doing a bit of digging and research, and apparently he's got good growth. He goes up to, I think, 88 or 89. So I did a swap deal for Joe Willock, who's about 3.4. So this guy's 3.3, and I picked up. Well, I had to give 210, so no biggie because Matt Macy went out the window, and I think he was worth 600. So that 200 is kind of balanced out there, so it's not too bad. Significant sell here is Mustafi. So Mustafi's worth 12 mil. I think I got offered about 13 odd from Leverkusen, and he's gone for 17 million. So that's a substantial amount recovered there. So that's going to pay for all the defenders that I've brought, as you've seen in the previous episodes. But yeah, let me just share my findings and potential signings that will be coming. So for the moment, let me just go to the top. So keepers, I don't really need any keepers, but I think one of these guys is going to be, I think their contract, I think it's Kepa. I'm pretty sure it's Kepa. Let's have a look. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was actually. So Kepa's contract expires, I'm pretty sure. So I'm going to try and bag him, but that's another bag anyway. The whole thing of going to be hunting out some free transfers, because I've been playing FIFA for a while, although not the greatest in the world. Don't claim to be, but you know, pretty good. But in terms of transfer dealings, oh man, I've done some crazy transfers in my time. I think the biggest one I've done is, I think 100 million back in FIFA 16 or 18, I can't remember. I think it was 100 million I sold him for. I think it's 50-16, but yeah, keepers I don't need, and central attacking, sorry, centre backs I don't need. But yeah, these are some of the players I've shortlisted, which I might upgrade the existing players I've got. Pereira looks interesting. Hakimi, this guy's supposed to be really, really good, but I think he's on loan if I'm not wrong. I think he's at Dortmund, but yeah, there's a couple of players. Wan-Bissaka, someone I can certainly look at bringing in. I'd love to get him because I always aim for the best players. So that's what's going to happen in this career mode, trying to get the best I can get in. Now let me just go down to Laporte, one of my favourites, great player. Davinson Sanchez, not a bad player to have as well. This guy looks pretty decent, 2079, could have good potential there. So let me just go down. Alaba's a favourite of mine, great player. Guy I've had quite a few times in the old FIFAs and has always been reliable. I haven't scouted him in this episode, or in this series rather, so I don't really know what his stats are at the moment. But Alphonso Davies is probably going to be expensive and supposed to be one of the best, so I certainly look to bring him in. So got all the CDMs here, and DD 33 mil, that's bucks, so I ain't paying that. Well, not right now anyway, not until I make silly money, which I will do down the line, touch wood, and then I'll start purchasing all the higher end players. But the players I've got at the moment will certainly form a good basis for the future. So he's another one. If I send Ceballos back, might look to bring this guy in. He's supposed to have really good potential. I think goes up to 89, so, and I think he's probably going to cost in the region of around maybe, I don't know, 13, 14, 15 mil, so certainly not a bad price to pay. Saul is another one for Watford. Ismaila Sarr, really interesting player here, but look at that acceleration and speed, that's killer. So Sancho, well, I will aim for that. So keep your eyes peeled down the line. He will be someone I'll certainly look to buy. Yeah, some really random players that have got good potential here. This Kubo guy is supposed to be really good, but he's on loan, owned by Real Madrid. Correa, I swear, has been listed as a striker back in the couple of FIFAs ago, but then way back in the day, I swear he was a central attacking midfielder. So he's not a bad player to have. But I don't want to pay too much money at this stage for players when I can certainly get players that are a couple of overall points less and certainly cheaper. So Serge Gnabry, old Arsenal boy, that'd be pretty interesting to have. Maybe, don't know, 35 million at this stage. It's not a bad price to pay. So Valverde, he's on loan, but he's supposed to be amazing. This guy looks really Milinkovic Savic. I hope I've said that right. Donny van der Beek, or Beek, if you're Dutch, I assume, is another one. Pretty interesting player there to have. You know, how much is he? Ajax players are pretty cheap in comparison to major leagues anyway. You know, like your Italian, Portuguese, French, German, etc. So Arthur, I don't really know too much about this guy, but supposedly he's really good by his overall rating. So Kovacic, solid player, solid. And Ndombele, could poach him from Spurs, but the thing is, in that position, you know, CDM, CM position, you know, I've already got Torreira, which I think is 23.81, so I look to probably keep him. And Guendouzi, I think he's 20.77, I think it is, or something along those lines. So he might be someone that I could rotate in that position and probably shot Granit Xhaka, try and get a bit of money for him. Although in saying that, this guy looks pretty decent for 15 mil. Højbjerg, I think it is how you pronounce it. Yeah, he's pretty solid. 23.79. Couple of seasons down the line, he could be worth in the mid 80s. So certainly worth considering. Yuri Tillemans, now this guy is just a beast. So if I can, I'm going to try and bring him in. Sal, solid, absolutely solid. This guy is a lot of money though. I don't even know how to pronounce his name. Aouar, I guess. He's supposed to be a bit of a beast as well. So in terms of indicators, I've always found like age and numbers. So like for example, he's at 81, 21.81. So if a player is like 21, I'd expect him to be at least a minimum of around, I don't know, 78 to like around anything above. That's a good indicator of his growth. So potentially he could be one to watch as well. Modric, I've only got him here because he's going to be free at the end of this season, and I'll probably look to get him in and then sell him, you know, the following season, just get some money in. So, you know, that's a good way to build up money in your kitty if you haven't got that much money. So, Corentin Tolisso, beast, Bucks, 30 mil. So, not really sure about that one. Verratti, I love Verratti, man. Great player. A lot of money, a lot of money. So, at this stage, I'd rather go someone like him, Frankie de Jong. But 54 mil is steep at this stage. Goretzka, I like him a lot. My FIFA 18 career mode, I actually had him. I got him in because Granit Xhaka, I sold him for quite a bit of money. I think that's in one of my other videos on the channel. I think I sold him for like 40 odd million. Then I got in Goretzka in this place, and that was actually a good deal. Justin Kluivert, don't know what his stats are. I haven't scouted him, but I assume he's going to be someone that's going to be pretty decent. Lamar, I'd love to have Lamar in. Arsenal actually went in for Lamar a couple of seasons ago, offered like silly money at I think 90 million, didn't work out. But then his career's kind of been a bit hit and miss. So I don't know. Pedri, this guy's supposed to be amazing. So I don't know. Might look to get him in. Currently can't get him in because there you go. He's on loan. So yeah, maybe down the line I'll look to get him in. So in terms of potential strikers now, given that my two main strikers are going out the window, Rashford, I could probably bring him in as an option. Kingsley, I've had Kingsley in my FIFA 18 career mode, beast, could use him as a striker. Saint Maximin, this guy, you know, it's interesting. You know what, 22.79, I reckon he could grow. You know, potentially he could be a great player to have. Speed is what I'm after. So look, he's got great sprint speed and acceleration. So certainly, oh, didn't mean to come out of there. Certainly someone looking to get in. But let me just go back to the transfer hub. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to jump out of there. So let's just bomb it down the list again. Sorry about that, gang. So as you can see, tons of players, just doing a bit of research, you know, just seeing who's out there and what ratings they are, etc., and just kind of gauging my own kind of, you know, instinct in terms of who's going to grow. Leon Bailey, this guy is someone, you know, relatively cheap at 22.5 in the scheme of things, considering that he's one that grows quite well. So, Man United boy, Bruno Fernandes. Now this guy looks pretty decent, you know, 24.85. Could be one to watch as well. But like I said, I want to stick away from kind of well-established ones at this stage and just pick up the younger ones that are going to be brilliant. Draxler, I think he goes on contract expiry as well, so I think that's why I've got him there. Or is it Isco? I can't remember. One or two anyway. And Kunku, this guy, now, as a alternative to a Foden, I mean, I think I could probably look to get this guy in. Another one I could probably steal from Red Bull Leipzig. So that's another one I'll look in to maybe bring in. And then sort that position out. It's done and dusted. Although Mount is very appealing as well, but I think Mount is 17 mil and he is 15, so slightly cheaper, same rating. Kai Havertz, that's the gold standard at the moment, so I'd love to get him in. Odegaard as well, I think he is currently on loan, so not possible at this stage, but I will look to buy him. Luis Alberto, another one, solid, but he's 26, so you know, when players hit about 28, 29, I normally look to sell them on, you know, squeeze as much profit as I can, and then buy the next best young talent. So Dele Alli, I'm going to look to poach him, I think, at some stage. Maddison, look at that, 22.82. That is a stat, you know, that's quite impressive. 26.5, probably cost about 30 odd, I reckon. So he's someone I'm looking to buy. This guy's supposed to have really good potential, Jonathan David. And he's probably going to be cheap-ish. 13.5. I think his potential goes up to about mid to late 80s, so that's interesting. Then you've got your usual suspects. Gertz has really fallen off over the last couple of years. So in terms of strikers, so these are someone that I'm considering. So Chiesa is someone that's pretty decent, 21.78, and price-wise, 13.5 is pretty decent. João Felix, I'd love to buy him, but then it's just been bought, so I will look to get him at some point. So definitely interested in him. Irving Lozano, relatively cheap because he's at Napoli. You know, Napoli aren't, I mean, they're a pretty big team, and you know, in the scheme of things, but in comparison to all the like major players, they're, you know, so therefore his price is reflected in that. So 21 million probably could be a good steal. Wages aren't too bad either. Hudson-Odoi, could use him as a striker maybe. Interesting player there. And then you've got your, you know, Mohamed Salah. Yeah, alright mate, 72.5. Nah, not at this stage. Rodrigo, I'm going to look to poach, definitely. Devin Neres, could use him as a central attacking midfielder or right winger. He's got release scores of 31.7, maybe. But here's the poster boy at the moment, Mbappe. Definitely going to look to buy him. Actually, you know what? 84 million is just silly money, isn't it, really, at this stage? I will, you know, aim to win everything I can and then look to get that kind of player in. Timo Werner. So at the moment, Liverpool are linked to him, but I think he's just agreed to go to Chelsea, but someone needs to confirm that in the comments. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I read that somewhere, but don't quote me on that. 51.5. Definitely look to get him in. He was a winger in the older FIFAs and a good growth potential. Icardi, solid. Then you've got the lesser players here, Pellegrini and Guiri, I believe his name is. Gabriel Jesus has just gone on loan, so I missed out on him. Boadu, this guy looks solid, cheap. This guy, Rafael Leao, as I think how you pronounce it, but got a couple of traits there, and acceleration and speed, not too bad either. So he looks interesting. Lautaro Martinez, beast. 40 million. If I can, I will keep your eyes peeled. But this is going to happen in the next episode. I'll do a little, just taking you through the current progress of the team. But in terms of further transfers, I will include that in the next episode as to what's happened. Jovic, I'm going to look to steal from Madrid. Moise Keane's just joined Everton in this game, so I can't get him at the moment, but he's supposed to be really, really good. And Bolo's a staple, might do well, I'm not really too sure. Mason Greenwood, young and 71. Look at his traits already, you know, he's got 4 traits, and interestingly, you know, it's not so fast at this stage. He will develop, but what's interesting is he's got finesse shot and outside foot shot as well. So, you know, flair, he's got a bit of skill. So I might look to buy him. Haaland, I want him. I will get him in, trust me. How much is it at the moment? 19 million. But because he's recently joined, can't get him at the moment, you know what I mean? So I will. Tammy's someone I'm definitely looking to bring in. 14 million, I reckon 16 might do the deal. So keep your eyes peeled on the team. Now this guy, Richarlison. Will I get him in? Probably. 23 mil, I reckon 25, 26 might do the trick, maybe 30, I don't know. I'm being a bit optimistic, I always am. Try and get the best prices, which I will share with you guys. But I want him, you know. Imagine him and Vinicius up front as your primary strikers. Or even Martial, 30 million. I would actually pay 30 million for him. So he's going to cost between, what, 34 and 49. So he might be my main boy up front, with Richarlison maybe, with Vinicius and one other supporting. But I always like to have 4 strikers that can rotate every other game. Kane, yeah, I will look to get him maybe. All these other players I've got on here, you know, like the higher ones, you know, the higher rated ones, I'd always look to get in. So, and then I got recommended this guy. So he's supposed to be pretty good. He's at Celtic as well, so yeah, I've got a comment off one of our subscribers, and that was from Lemmy the Red Panda, so thanks for that shout out there. So I believe, from what I've been told, he actually goes up to about the mid to late 80s, so someone definitely worth looking at, and he's probably going to be cheap as well, being at Celtic. So Lukaku, gold standard, I will maybe look at him. Milik, it's not bad, 25.83, potentially could grow, you know, as in someone that's kind of mid-priced ish. You know, 25.83, I don't know how much it'll cost, but you know, he's someone that if you smash it with him, he could probably go 25.85 and then start developing furthermore. But I want this guy because pace, you know, potential is all there, 4 traits. Look at that, you know, interesting. I'll probably look to buy him. Sterling, can I try and steal him? 74 million is a lot of money, you know, but he's going to be someone in the 90s. Look at that, 24.89 already. Sane's another one I like. Neymar, ambitious, but maybe I'll try and get him in down the line. Then you got your usual suspects like your Hazards. Asensio, probably going to have a lot of. Actually, what's he? 26 million, hasn't got a release clause. Might look to get him in. Fatty, I definitely want, but I can't at the moment because just to be acquired. So yeah, that ain't happening right now. And underneath you've got Ousmane Dembele, 33 million. This guy, pace, power. Could I use him as a striker? Maybe. Have done it in previous FIFAs. Oyarzabal, another one. 32 mil, solid player. So that kind of concludes my list for the moment, and this episode as well, because I just wanted to share like what's been happening in terms of the team itself. So I'll just go back to the team here and just show you how I've laid it out. So excuse the bench for the moment. So this is the bench will probably look as it is, bar these 2 positions. These 2 are where my spare strikers will sit, and another central attacking midfield will probably sit where Reece Nelson is. I'm a bit undecided in terms of what to do with Ceballos because it's not mine. I might just send him back and then just play Martinelli and Nelson on that position. Although with the amount of money that's coming in, I might just go and buy a right winger and then maybe put one of these boys on loan. 1973, 1873. Defense is sorted. I always like to sort my defense like this. So Ainsley, Saliba, Van Housden, how you pronounce it, and Aarons. Aarons is someone that's going to have potential, which I bought for cheap in the previous episodes. And what I'll do is every other game is rotate with the existing back four. Keeper will be rotated as well every other game, and I will be filming game progress as well. And I normally will be, well, like I've done in previous FIFAs, is just film the whole game, so you're actually with me, while I'm making my transfers, etc. So you can see how I kind of progress the team as well. But in terms of sales, Balogun I might just keep as a kind of striker that, like when energy's been depleted and you just need someone to kind of fill in the last 15-20 minutes of a game. But certainly Burton, Coyle, Bola, Clark, Medley, Kolasinac, Cedric is on loan. I might send him back. Chambers is on his way out, God willing. Get that money. Socrates, looking to get rid of him. David Luiz and Murray. So there will be quite a lot of sales, and I will keep you posted in terms of team progress. So at this stage, thanks for your support and watching the video so far and watching the previous episodes. I just want to show you how I assembled my team. At the moment, it's just all strategy, etc. Trying to acquire the best players and make the best sales. So I really hope you enjoy watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe, and keep your eyes peeled for the next episode. Thanks for watching. See you later.